Popular sports media personality Bill Simmons has raised eyebrows with his recent assessment of the Los Angeles Lakers coaching situation. The veteran podcaster suggested that head coach JJ Redick appears visibly stressed during games, claiming the first-year coach looks like he needs a drink while sitting on the sidelines. Simmons delivered these comments during his latest podcast episode, where he analyzed the Lakers' current season performance and internal dynamics. Despite the Lakers holding a respectable record and positioning themselves as playoff contenders, Simmons argues the team's success is misleading. He pointed to significant underlying issues that suggest Los Angeles is performing above their actual capabilities. The defensive struggles have been particularly concerning, with the Lakers ranking near the bottom of the league in defensive efficiency over their last 15 games. This defensive collapse raises serious questions about their ability to compete when the postseason arrives. Simmons didn't mince words when discussing the Lakers' offensive production either. Over their last 15 games, the team has posted one of the worst offensive ratings in the entire NBA. Only struggling franchises like Sacramento, Indiana, Utah, and Washington have performed worse during this stretch. This statistical reality contradicts their winning record and suggests the Lakers have been fortunate in close game situations rather than dominant in their victories. The chemistry within the locker room has also become a topic of discussion. Simmons noted that the Lakers don't appear to be a cohesive, happy group despite their competitive standing. This observation aligns with recent reporting from ESPN journalists who revealed tension stemming from the organization's transition away from LeBron James as the franchise centerpiece. The shift toward building around LUKA has created uncomfortable dynamics that appear to be affecting team morale. Redick's first season as an NBA head coach has been anything but smooth. The former sharpshooter accepted one of basketball's most challenging positions, taking over a franchise with championship expectations and complex internal politics. Managing the transition from a LeBron-led team to a Doncic-centered roster while maintaining competitive results would test even the most experienced coaches. For a rookie head coach, the pressure must be immense and apparently visible. The defensive issues Simmons highlighted represent perhaps the most alarming concern for Lakers fans. Being 29th in defensive rating over a 15-game sample is not a small blip, but rather a significant trend. Championship caliber teams simply cannot sustain such poor defensive performance and expect to advance deep into the playoffs. The Lakers are allowing opponents to score too easily and haven't found defensive rotations or schemes that consistently work. Part of the defensive struggles may stem from roster construction challenges. The Lakers lack elite perimeter defenders and have struggled to protect the rim consistently. While they have talented offensive players, defensive versatility and switchability have been issues all season long. Redick has experimented with different lineup combinations, but none have solved the fundamental defensive problems plaguing the team. The offensive rating decline is equally troubling when examined closely. A team featuring Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves should theoretically rank among the league's best offensive units. That they've fallen to 5th worst over 15 games indicates serious execution problems, spacing issues, or perhaps a lack of ball movement and player movement. These are coaching concerns that fall directly on Redick's shoulders to address. Simmons' prediction that the Lakers would lose any first-round playoff matchup due to their defensive deficiencies is harsh but potentially accurate. In playoff basketball, defensive intensity and execution become paramount. Teams cannot outscore their problems when possessions become more valuable and opponents adjust their game plans. The Lakers' current defensive form suggests they would struggle mightily against disciplined playoff competition. The reported friction between the Doncic and James camps adds another layer of complexity to Redick's job. According to ESPN's reporting, the Lakers organization made clear this past offseason that the franchise now belongs to Doncic, not James. This power shift, while perhaps necessary for the team's future, has created delicate interpersonal dynamics. Redick must manage two generational talents with different styles, expectations, and levels of organizational power. Managing LeBron James alone would challenge any coach. The future Hall of Famer has been the NBA's most influential player for nearly 2 decades, accustomed to having significant input on roster decisions, coaching strategies, and team direction. Asking him to take a secondary role, even to an elite talent like Doncic, represents a massive adjustment. Redick must navigate this transition carefully while keeping James engaged and productive. Simmons' observation about the strange vibes surrounding the Lakers resonates with what others around the league have noticed. The team doesn't appear to play with joy or cohesion that characterizes successful franchises. There seems to be an underlying tension that occasionally surfaces during games and in post-game interviews. Whether this stems from the leadership transition, defensive frustrations, or other internal issues remains somewhat unclear. The Lakers' mid-50 win pace that Simmons referenced would represent a decent regular season result for most franchises. However, for a team with championship aspirations and 2 top-tier stars, merely being good isn't sufficient. The Lakers need to be great, and their recent performance trends suggest they're moving in the wrong direction rather than building momentum toward the playoff. Redick's visible stress on the sidelines, if Simmons' characterization is accurate, speaks volumes about the challenges he's facing. First-time head coaches typically experience a steep learning curve, dealing with game management, rotations, player relationships, and media scrutiny. Doing all this for the Lakers, one of basketball's most scrutinized franchises, amplifies every difficulty. The pressure to succeed immediately is enormous and apparently taking a toll. The Lakers' recent stretch has exposed vulnerabilities that opponents will surely target. Teams have figured out defensive schemes that limit Los Angeles' offensive effectiveness and have found ways to attack the Lakers' defensive weaknesses. Without significant adjustments, these problems will only worsen as the season progresses and teams game plan more specifically for playoff matchups. The Los Angeles Lakers made a quiet but potentially significant move last summer when they signed forward Jake Laravia to a modest 2-year contract worth $12 million. While the signing didn't generate headlines compared to the blockbuster moves happening across the league, Laravia has steadily proven himself to be one of the team's most reliable and adaptable role players during the current campaign. His willingness to accept whatever responsibilities come his way has made him increasingly valuable to head coach JJ Redick's rotation plans. Laravia's journey with the Lakers this season illustrates how professional basketball rewards players who embrace their roles without complaint. The 24-year-old forward arrived in Los Angeles without guarantees of playing time or a defined position in the rotation. Instead of demanding minutes or a specific role, he focused on preparation and readiness. That approach has paid dividends as injuries to key rotation players opened opportunities for increased responsibilities, and Laravia has consistently delivered when called upon. The Lakers have dealt with numerous injury setbacks throughout the season, testing the depth of their roster in ways they hadn't anticipated. When Rui Hachimura went down with an injury, Laravia stepped seamlessly into the starting lineup without missing a beat. This transition from bench contributor to starter requires mental preparation, physical readiness, and the ability to expand one's game on short notice. Laravia has handled this challenge admirably, increasing his production across multiple statistical categories. Defense has emerged as one of Laravia's most valuable contributions during his time as a starter. He has shown the ability to guard multiple positions effectively, switching onto opposing wings and holding his own against quicker perimeter players. His defensive versatility gives Redick lineup flexibility and allows the Lakers to match up more effectively against different opponent configurations. In today's position-less basketball landscape, having defenders who can credibly guard multiple spots is essential. Laravia's rebounding has also improved significantly since entering the starting unit. He crashes the defensive glass with consistency, helping the Lakers secure possessions and transition to offense. This may seem like a basic fundamental, but defensive rebounding often separates good teams from great ones. Every defensive board denies opponents second chance opportunities and gives the Lakers more possessions to work with offensively. Laravia's contributions in this area shouldn't be underestimated. When discussing his versatile approach to the game, Laravia emphasized his readiness to adapt based on what each game requires. He acknowledged performing similar roles earlier in the season when LeBron James was sidelined, demonstrating this isn't his first experience adjusting to changing circumstances. His self-description as a man of many hats perfectly captures his professional mindset. Rather than seeking a defined identity or specific role, he focuses on reading each game situation and responding appropriately. The contrast between Laravia's recent performances illustrates his adaptability in action. Against New Orleans, he took only 5 shots, focusing instead on defense, rebounding, and facilitating for teammates. The very next game, the situation demanded more aggressive scoring, and Laravia responded by attacking more frequently and looking for his offense. This kind of basketball intelligence and selflessness is rare, especially in younger players still establishing themselves in the league. Laravia's commitment to controlling what he can control reflects mature professional thinking. He can't determine matchups, opponent strategies, or how games unfold. What he can control is his effort level, defensive intensity, and mental preparation. By focusing on these controllable factors while remaining flexible about everything else, he maximizes his impact regardless of the specific role he's asked to fill on any given night. The Lakers' offensive system revolves around their star players LUKA and LeBron James, who command constant defensive attention and create opportunities for role players. Laravia understands that opposing defenses will always prioritize stopping these elite talents, which creates chances for players willing to make winning plays without dominating the ball. His ability to contribute without requiring plays called for him or needing high usage rates makes him an ideal complementary piece. Shooting efficiency becomes crucial for role players in systems built around star creators. When Laravia Laravia receives open looks generated by defensive attention on Doncic or James, he must capitalize on these opportunities. After struggling with outside shooting toward the end of last year, he has worked diligently to improve his perimeter accuracy. The confidence gained through both personal work and team trust has helped him rediscover his shooting touch at the right time. Laravia specifically credited the trust shown by his coaches and teammates as instrumental in rebuilding his confidence. When players go through shooting slumps, doubt can become self-perpetuating. Having coaches continue running plays for you and teammates continuing to pass you the ball despite missed shots requires faith. That organizational support allowed Laravia to work through his struggles without losing his place in the rotation or his mental composure. The financial implications of Laravia's strong performance create an interesting situation for next season. His contract includes a player option for the following campaign, giving him the choice to either return at his current salary or test free agency. If he maintains his current level of play throughout the remainder of the season, declining that option and seeking a larger deal would make obvious financial sense. Strong role players on team-friendly deals typically find robust markets in free agency. For the Lakers organization, retaining players like Laravia should be a priority as they build around Luka Doncic for the future. Finding versatile, low-maintenance contributors who accept their roles and perform consistently is challenging in today's NBA. These players provide stability, reliability, and flexibility that allow stars to shine without worrying about role player drama or production inconsistency. Laravia checks all these boxes and more. The Lakers front office faces important decisions about roster construction moving forward. With Doncic established as the franchise centerpiece, they need to surround him with players whose skills and personalities complement his game. Laravia's defensive versatility, three-point shooting, rebounding, and professional approach make him exactly the type of player championship teams need around their primary stars. Finding ways to retain him beyond this season makes strategic sense. Laravia's story also resonates because it demonstrates how players can maximize opportunities through preparation and attitude. He wasn't a lottery pick or heralded prospect. He didn't sign a massive contract or receive guaranteed minutes. Instead, he earned everything through consistent performance and professional conduct. This kind of meritocracy appeals to both fans and teammates, creating positive culture within the organization. The remaining months of the regular season will determine much about Laravia's immediate future. Continued strong play could position him for a significant raise either from the Lakers or another team willing to pay for his services. Conversely, any significant drop in performance might make that player option more attractive as guaranteed security. Either way, his approach won't change. He'll continue being ready to fill whatever role is needed, controlling his effort and making winning plays. The Los Angeles Lakers find themselves in an unusual position as the February 5th trade deadline approaches. Despite sitting among the Western Conference's top teams with a competitive record, their ability to make meaningful roster improvements appears severely limited. League sources indicate the Lakers have essentially handcuffed themselves financially, creating obstacles that will prevent any significant moves despite potential desires to upgrade their championship contending roster. According to reporting from ESPN's Tim Bontemps and Brian Windhorst, the Lakers have hard-capped themselves below the NBA salary cap's first apron threshold. This self-imposed restriction leaves them with approximately $1 million of available salary space to work with in potential trades. In today's NBA economics, $1 million of cap flexibility is essentially nothing when trying to acquire meaningful talent or make substantive roster adjustments before the deadline. The salary cap situation represents only part of the Lakers' trade deadline challenges. They also lack the draft capital necessary to sweeten potential deals or entice teams to part with quality players. Having already traded away future picks in previous transactions, including the first-round selection sent to Dallas in the Luka Doncic deal, the Lakers simply don't possess the draft assets other teams typically demand in trade negotiations. This combination of cap inflexibility and asset poverty creates a nearly impossible situation. An anonymous Western Conference executive provided blunt assessment of the Lakers' predicament when speaking with ESPN reporters. The executive explained that Los Angeles essentially needs to fast forward to the offseason because they lack realistic options for improving their roster now. According to this source, the Lakers don't have a viable solution to their current limitations. Their focus has shifted to preserving cap space for summer moves while attempting marginal adjustments that likely won't significantly impact their championship odds. The executive's comments about difficulty finding moves that make sense reflects the reality of midseason trades under the current collective bargaining agreement. The NBA's latest CBA has made salary matching more complex and luxury tax penalties more severe. Teams operating near or above various apron levels face increasingly restrictive rules about what types of deals they can complete. The Lakers' decision to hard cap themselves themselves below the first apron, while providing some future flexibility, has eliminated their ability to make meaningful deadline moves. Looking back at last season provides context for the Lakers' current situation. Their biggest move didn't happen this year, but rather last campaign when they shocked the basketball world by acquiring Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks. That blockbuster trade sent Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick to Dallas in exchange for the young Slovenian superstar. This transaction fundamentally altered the franchise's trajectory and consumed much of their available trade capital. General manager Rob Pelinka worked diligently during the offseason to build around Doncic while maintaining competitive balance. Re-signing LeBron James provided veteran leadership and elite production alongside the younger star. Adding center DeAndre Ayton addressed interior needs and gave the Lakers a legitimate rim protector and rebounder. Signing Jake Laravia on a reasonable deal provided versatile forward depth that has proven valuable as injuries mounted during the season. The Lakers' current roster features impressive offensive firepower with 3 players averaging at least 21 points per game. Luka Doncic leads the way with his elite playmaking and scoring ability. LeBron James continues defying age expectations with consistent high-level production. Austin Reeves has emerged as a legitimate third scoring option, though his current absence due to a calf injury has tested the team's depth and offensive balance. Beyond the top 3 scorers, the Lakers rely on a supporting cast that includes proven veterans and emerging contributors. DeAndre Ayton provides interior presence on both ends of the floor. Jake Laravia has earned increased responsibilities through consistent play and professional approach. Rui Hachimura offers scoring versatility when healthy. Marcus Smart brings defensive intensity and veteran savvy. This supporting group has talent, but lacks the star power some championship contenders possess in their second units. The question facing the Lakers is whether their current roster construction is sufficient for a championship run. Being the 5th seed in the Western Conference with a record of 23 wins and 12 losses represents solid regular season success. They sit just 1 game behind the 3rd seed and 2 games behind the 2nd seed, meaning improved play could quickly elevate their playoff positioning. However, regular season success doesn't automatically translate to postseason advancement. Analyzing potential playoff matchups raises legitimate concerns about the Lakers' championship viability. Could they defeat a team like the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder in a 7-game series? The Thunder possess elite talent, championship experience, and depth that might overwhelm the Lakers in a prolonged playoff battle. While anything can happen in a short series, the Lakers would likely enter such a matchup as underdogs given their defensive struggles and depth limitations. The Lakers' defensive issues have been particularly troubling throughout recent weeks. They ranked near the bottom of the league in defensive efficiency during their last 15 games, suggesting systemic problems rather than temporary struggles. Championship teams typically excel defensively because playoff basketball rewards defensive execution and intensity. The Lakers' inability to consistently get stops and prevent easy baskets raises serious questions about their ceiling. Offensive consistency has also proven problematic despite having multiple elite scorers. Over their last 15 games, the Lakers posted one of the worst offensive ratings in the NBA. For a team featuring Doncic's playmaking and James's scoring ability, these numbers are unacceptable. Something is broken in the offensive system or execution that prevents the Lakers from maximizing their talent. Without trade deadline help, they must fix these issues internally. The Lakers' commitment to staying under the first apron reflects long-term strategic thinking, even if it limits short-term options. Maintaining cap flexibility for the summer allows them to pursue free agents or execute larger trades when more players become available. This patient approach makes sense for a team building around a young superstar like Doncic who has many prime years ahead. However, it does sacrifice immediate championship probability for future flexibility. The Lakers' situation highlights broader challenges facing teams trying to compete while managing modern salary cap complexities. The current CBA punishes teams that exceed various luxury tax thresholds with increasingly severe financial penalties and roster-building restrictions. Teams must choose between going all in for immediate championship pursuit or maintaining financial flexibility for sustained competitiveness. The Lakers have chosen the latter path, for better or worse. As the trade deadline approaches, Lakers fans should temper expectations about significant roster upgrades. The front office simply lacks the tools to complete meaningful deals given their cap situation and asset limitations. Instead, the focus will be on internal development, health management, and tactical adjustments. Head coach JJ Redick must maximize the roster he has rather than expecting reinforcements to solve problems.